What's up guys, and welcome back to Software Knowledge Solutions, and today we're talking about Call of Duty Warzone Season 1 and its latest updates. Now I'm going to be showing you the best settings you can use for every single user out there. It doesn't matter if you're a low-end user, medium-end user, high-end user, or you can launch physical nukes with your machine. I actually don't care. I am here to help every single person that is running this game right now at this very moment, from low-end machines all the way to launching nuke machines, meaning the best computers. Because people are running this game right now with the best of machines, and they are running very, very bad FPS. Now, there's a couple of things that you can do in this game to make the game run better. Not just in the game, in the config file, the drivers you are running for your graphics card, the settings you are using for your graphics card in Windows. I'm going to go over all of those things, so please, ladies and gentlemen, do not skip through my video. I'm going to repeat this. Do not skip through my video. Watch from the beginning to the end, and if there's an improvement in your game and your game runs perfectly fine and you see a massive improvement, make sure to smash that motherfucking like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the new channel if you're new here. Alright, let's jump straight into this video. Wait, before I actually jump straight into this video, here is an email that I got of someone's messaging me, an email to let me know of what machine he's running. And as you can see, here it is. This is the email that he sent me. Now, as you can see, that is a very powerful machine. And look at the frames he's doing. Okay. Now, this is something I want to show you guys. Is this over here. If you come into the game, Call of Duty is back to its old fucking bullshit streaks, and that's why I tell people that Call of Duty and Activision, the company that has created this game, and the fucking developers that smoke a bunch of crack, don't know what they're doing with this fucking game. Now, Call of Duty is back to its old streaks. It's this over here. If you come inside here and you put the voice channel off, so you put the channel off for your voices, right? So you can't hear enemy players, you can't hear your group if you maybe like talking in game or whatever the case might be, you're not using Discord. If you turn it off, you actually increase FPS. What the actual fuck, Activision? Really? Turning the voice channel off gives more FPS? What kind of fuckness is this? But ladies and gentlemen, that is a true thing right now, and it actually works. Turn your voice chat off. It gives more frames. It is actually a thing right now in this game, and that's why I say, and yet again, that's why I say, ladies and gentlemen, Call of Duty smokes a bunch of crack, and it's just a fact. It's a fucking fact, ladies and gentlemen. If people don't get this by now, please get it. That Activision don't know what the fuck they're doing. The developers don't know what the fuck they're doing. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let me not rant and rave. Let's jump straight into this FPS boost guide. Let me go over the config file, Windows settings, the best settings that you can be using right now for any type of machine that you are running. This is for all users out there. Alright, let's jump straight into this video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I'm on my desktop right now, and I highly suggest that you do the same thing. Be on your desktop. Go out of the game, be on your desktop. If you're running this game through Steam or Battle.net, whatever the case might be on your desktop. Follow everything that I'm about to show you. This will increase the performance of your gameplay. Alright, just follow my video from the beginning to the end, and I can promise you, ladies and gentlemen, this will work for you to increase in performance for your game. Alright, if it does work, smash the motherfucking like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Right, so the first thing is this. As you can see, I have a wallpaper engine running in the background. Now, it's a moving wallpaper engine, meaning it uses my graphics card. It uses VRAM usage, okay? Now, you want nothing to be using VRAM usage while playing Call of Duty. In fact, you want no apps to be running while you are playing Call of Duty, because it's only going to increase the VRAM strain on your GPU. Alright, now my GPU is capable of running this program perfectly fine and playing COD perfectly fine, but I don't use it. Alright, so what you do is, if you have a moving wallpaper engine, or in general something like this, just go ahead. You can go right click and then just say pause. A lot of people say you should do this and then you should be good to go. Right? No. Ladies and gentlemen, what I would suggest is, if you do have a program like this and you're running Wallpaper Engine through Steam, which you just can go and download through Steam, but you have to buy it though, just right click and say quit and have a still image on your desktop. Now, yeah, as you can see, I am a Hitman fan, and yeah, that's pretty much my wallpaper that I have right now. Anyways, I installed the latest graphics card drivers recently, so now my wallpapers has changed. That was actually a completely different Hitman picture, but whatever, that's not the case. As long as you have a still image on your desktop, number one, and as number two would be, don't have anything on your desktop itself. Okay, now a lot of people will like leave comments down below, yo, my desktop is full of shit and I don't have problems. Look, it's your own personal preference. I can't tell you what to do here, but having a clean desktop is better than having a cluttered desktop, because it uses resources like your CPU, your SSD, your M.2, your hard drive, whatever case of the drive that you are using. It uses the read and write speeds while it's on your desktop. Believe me, trust me on this. All right, so the first thing I want to go over is this over here, is the config file, and it plays the most important role in the game for Warzone Season 1. So you're going to open up your file explorer like this and go to Documents. You're going to go to where it says Call of Duty like this, go to Players, and you're going to come to this file over here. It says s.1.0 cod24, and it's a text file. Now you can open this up with any notepad. Just go to Notepad and open this up like this, and then open this up like this. Now what you're going to need to do is you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you're going to see this where it says thread count for handling the job queue. Now as you can see, it says 16 inside here. Now what I suggest you go ahead and do is you're going to need to put your total cores inside here. Now when you have a newer generation CPU, let's say it has performance cores and efficient cores coming from Intel, then I would recommend putting your performance cores inside here. Now I have a 14700K i7. It has 8 performance cores, so I'm going to put 8 inside here. Then you just click here and click save and leave it like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have just a normal lower gen CPU from Intel, or just high end from Ryzen, or just in general from Ryzen, I can put a picture up right now. I'll put a picture up like now, just to show you what you should put up. And if you don't know what CPU you are running, this is what you're going to need to do. You're just going to right click over here and go to Task Manager, open this up and go to Performance and go to CPU, and it will tell you what CPU you are currently running. Then you can just go to Google and type in your CPU, and then type in what CPU you have. Like I have an Intel i7 14700K. Type that into Google. Type in your CPU and then type in specs. It will tell you your total cores and your total threads. Now, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I know it says thread count for handling a job queue, but this is your cores, not your threads. Now, my CPU has 8 performance cores, all right? Okay, it has 8 performance cores. It says 20 cores, yes, it's 20 logical cores, but it has 8 performance cores on the newer generation CPUs. So I'm going to put 8 here. When it comes to performance cores and you have a newer generation CPU and it has performance cores, that's what you're going to put inside here. Now, I've actually heard people say that when you have 8 performance cores, you should actually put 7 there, 1 down from the number that you should have. I've tested this myself, this theory. There's no visual difference in FPS at all. Physically at all. I don't see more FPS or less FPS when I put that at 7 or I put it at 8, because it's using my performance cores. It's using the correct ones. Now, as you could see before, it was at 16, which is incorrect. Okay, it should be 8 because I use performance cores. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you have, let's just say, a CPU that does not have performance cores, it doesn't have efficient cores and stuff like that, it just has total cores and total threads in general, coming from Ryzen or coming from Intel, you're going to put your total cores inside here. Okay, so let's say you have a total cores of, let's say, 12. You're going to put 12 inside here. Let's say you have a total cores of, let's say, 16. You're going to put 16 inside here. You get my point. Now, let's say you have 24 cores of total cores. Not performance cores, but total cores. You don't have performance cores. You just have total cores and total threads, okay? Do not, I'm going to repeat myself. Do not put 24 inside here. It will not work. If you have 24 cores, then you're going to max it out at 16 because the highest value is 16 inside here, all right? That's what you're going to need to do, ladies and gentlemen. Please go ahead and do that. Now, as you can see here, this is the last time I ran my game with this driver. There's actually a newer driver out right now at this very moment with the new Nvidia app. Please go ahead and download the latest app for Nvidia if you are an Nvidia user. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of things that you can change inside the config file, like the blood count and stuff like that. I don't really mess around with it because it can actually get to the point where your game doesn't start up. So if you're a Steam user or Battle.net user, your game will just crash randomly. So I wouldn't just start changing things in the config file. The config file is literally the brains and stuff of before you even get into the game. You're changing stuff inside the game, what's going to happen inside the game, right? I'm going to put this back to 8, and then I'm going to save it because I need to save it. Please go ahead and save it once you've changed it to the number that you have. Do not, I repeat, do not start changing things inside here that you shouldn't be changing. and stuff like that. That's why I don't change the blood count and stuff like that, because I mean, if you shoot an enemy and no blood's coming out of him or whatever the case might be, it's not gonna like eat up your FPS if you're seeing blood. It's not gonna take like 10 FPS or 20 FPS or 30 FPS if you're seeing blood. I mean, if you're running this game on a calculator maybe, then yeah, change the blood count. But if your game starts crashing for no reason, that's on you, okay? This is the only thing I highly recommend you go ahead and change, is this. Because it's most likely wrong here for you. So go put your total cores inside there, and if you have performance cores, put your performance cores inside here, and you'll be good to go. After you've done your thing here, you just go over here, and you save here, and you fuck out of this thing, and you fuck out of that, and you fuck out of that. Alright, let's jump straight into the next step. Alright, so the next step will be the new Nvidia app. I'm just going to open it up. I haven't logged into this, but I'm just going to show you. Here's the home page. I haven't logged in. I'm going to log into it, don't worry. But yeah, here's the new app. Okay. You can go to drivers, and then it will tell you up to date. This is the latest graphics card driver version for Nvidia right now at this very moment, which is 566.14. Please go ahead. I highly recommend that you go ahead and download the latest graphics card driver at this very moment for Nvidia and AMD side as well. If you're an AMD user, go ahead and download the latest graphics card drivers. This is for all users out there. If you're an AMD user, download the latest graphics card driver for your AMD machine. Okay? Alright, once you have done doing this, okay, I highly do recommend getting the new app. It's actually very, very nice, to be honest, because you can change graphics settings and stuff, but I'm not going to do this right now. I'm not going to get into this, but just please be on the latest graphics card drivers. This is what I recommend right now at this very moment. It's being on the latest graphics card drivers. Once you have done doing this, you can just fuck out of this again. And now, this is something very, very important that you guys are going to need to do. Alright, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is just click on the start button over here and go to settings, and you're going to come to the settings key icon like this, and you're going to come to gaming over here. You're going to come inside here, here's the game bar. Right now at this very moment, I leave my game bar on. For some reason, there's this little weird thing happening right now, and it's very weird, and that's why I say Call of Duty developers smoke a bunch of crack. Having this on could increase performance for some users. Having it off can increase performance for some users. So you're going to have to play around with this. Test it out. It's going to be your own personal preference, all right? Then you're going to come to your game mode and have your game mode turned on. Please, for the love of fuck, have this turned on. And you're going to come to graphics settings over here and have hardware accelerated GPU scheduling turned on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have this option, don't worry about it. If you don't have this option, don't worry about it then. But if you do, please go ahead and turn it on. Alright, you're going to click on the home button again. From here, you're going to come to updates and security. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is very important to go ahead and install and check for updates on your Windows. Please go ahead and do this. This doesn't matter if you're running Windows 10 or 11. It really doesn't matter. The only reason why I'm not in Windows 11 is because I believe that Windows 11 is a bunch of dog shit and it looks like crap and they're trying to be like Mac and it's just in general a bunch of fucking shit to me. Okay? It's my own personal preference. Okay? I like Windows 10. Anyways, it's my own personal preference. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to come to privacy over here, scroll all the way down, and go to background apps. Now, if you're still a Windows 10 user like me, all you're going to need to do is go to on to off. Then all of these programs won't run in the background using your CPU, your RAM, as in like your RAM sticks, random access memory, not your VRAM. It can also use a little bit of your VRAM as well on your graphics card. So I highly recommend turning all of these things off just by turning it from on to off. Then all of these things are off. Now with Windows 11, you have to individually turn them off one by one. Now there's a way to do that. I'm not going to show you how to do that. You can literally just go Google it. I mean, you are watching my video, you have access to the internet, so just go Google how to do it and you should be good to go. Disable every background app. You don't want background apps running on your computer while you're playing Call of Duty. Since the game is so fucked in anyways, please turn the stuff off that you need to turn off. It's very, very important. All right, once you're done with this, you can just fuck out of this. And now we're going to jump into the next step. The next step is this over here. And I highly recommend you guys do this on a weekly basis or every 2 weeks or a monthly basis. Please do this. Press the Windows key and R to open up the Run tab. The first thing you're going to type in is going to be temp, just like this, TEMP, and press enter. You're going to click on anything inside here. You might have a bunch of shit inside here. Click on anything inside here, press Control and A, highlight everything, and press the delete key on your keyboard, or right click and say delete. Say do this for all kind of items and say try again, and then say do for this for all kind of items and say skip. Skip that out and then close out of this. You're going to press the Windows key and R again. This time you're going to put a percentage symbol in front of the P and put the percentage symbol in front of the T. So percentage, temp, percentage, and press enter. Now, as you can see, there's a bunch of shit inside here, especially that's a bunch of shit. Fucking fuckers. You're going to press Control and A, highlight everything inside here, right click on that bitch and say delete. And then say, do this all on current items, say try again. Do this all current items and say skip. The reason why you can't delete all of these things, ladies and gentlemen, is because it's currently being used by your Windows. You can't delete it. But this is a bunch of bloatware on your machine that can actually slow down your machine. Okay? Your Windows can actually slow down how your Windows performs. Now, if your Windows performs shit, your games are going to perform shit. All right, you catch my drift. All right, next one will be Windows and R one more time, and you're going to type in prefetch. Just like this, press enter. You're going to click on anything inside here. Press Control and A to highlight everything, right click, say delete, or just press the delete key on your keyboard, and then say do this for current items and say try again, do this for current items and say skip. The reasons why I say do this for current items and try it again, because sometimes it will delete it and sometimes not. Then you can close out of this. Then I highly recommend you go ahead and do this. I'm just going to move this onto my screen. This is on my other screen. Right click on your recycling bin, say empty, and then say yes, and delete everything that you just deleted now out of all those little basically bloatware folders, and get that out of your machine. Very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. Please go ahead and do that. All right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, so the next step would be to right click on your desktop and then open up Nvidia control panel if you are an Nvidia user like me. All right, this is for Nvidia users out there. You're going to come inside here and you're going to have this at adjust image settings with preview, and you're going to use this option over here where it says use the advanced 3D image settings, which is going to, you can click on take me there and it's going to take you to manage 3D settings, and it's going to look like this. Now, as you can see, I updated my graphics card drivers. Now there's a bunch of shit that's wrong. Now I'm going to show you what you're going to need to change for them to be correct. Okay, so the first one's, I'm not going to explain every single thing because then I'm going to make this video way too long. And in most of my videos, I explain what these things do. If you want to know what these things do, just go watch my older videos. I don't want to make this video way too long, but this is going to be off. First one, off, application controlled, off, on gamma correction, application controlled. This will be unhighlighted, then off, and then all, and then when you click on all, just make sure that your GPU is selected inside here. Make sure it's selected like this and say OK. But first system fallback on this one over here, please go ahead and select prefer system fallback. Then DSR factors. Now mine is overriding itself to doing 4K resolution. I don't want it to do that, so I click here and turn it off. All right. Please go ahead and turn that off. If it's on, please go ahead and turn that off. All right, low latency mode. This is a very, very important step, ladies and gentlemen. If you have ultra and on, okay? If you have a G-Sync monitor or a FreeSync monitor, you can use ultra. If you have a normal monitor, or let's just say a normal display, just leave it on and you should be good to go. Max frame rate is going to be obviously off. You're not going to change anything inside here because this is going to apply for all the games that you are playing. And then where it says OpenGL rendering compatibility, please go ahead and change this from auto to prefer performance. That's what you want. You want to prefer performance over anything else. You're going to go to Open Render GPU, and you're going to come over here, Open Rendering GPU, and select your dedicated graphics card. Then where it says Power Management Mode, please select Prefer Maximum Performance. Where it says Shader Cache, back in the day it used to be 100%, so like 100 gigs, sorry. You click on this and then you go to 100 gigs. Don't do that anymore. It's called Default Driver, and leave it there. All right, then off, allow, and then quality. Now, this is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. I have to explain this, and I'm going to explain it. Okay, if you have let's say a low-end gaming graphics card, I would suggest you put this on high performance. If you have a medium-end graphics card, I would suggest performance. If you have a high-end or qualified as a high-end graphics card, I have a 4070 Super. So it's like basically still the highest gen right now. 5000 series is still coming. Put it at quality. So if you have a GPU that's like, let's say a 3080 or 3070 Ti and above, go ahead and put this at quality. You can get away with quality with lower GPUs, let's say a 2070, a 2080. You can also put this at quality. But if you're running anything lower than that, the equivalent of a fucking calculator, please don't try quality here. You're just gonna fucking make your FPS drop a... It's just going to look like shit. Your game's going to run like shit. Your FPS is going to look like shit. Don't choose quality here. Go to high performance or performance. It's your own personal preference on what you're going to choose inside here, depending on the graphics card you are running. You will know what GPU you're running. If you don't know what GPU you are running, right click here, go to Task Manager, go to Performance, and then go all the way down to the bottom like this, and it will tell you the GPU you are currently running, and then you'll know you'll basically know, okay, I should put this at quality, okay, I should put this at performance, okay, I should put this at this, that, this, whatever. You'll know what GPU you are running. So if you're running like a 10 series graphics card, you're going to need to at least think to yourself like, okay, wait, I have a 10 series graphics card. It's quite old. We're already in the 4000 series graphics cards. If you're running a 10 series, go to high performance. Okay. So just bear that in mind. There we go. I got that out of my system. I just wanted to get that out of my system because a lot of people don't understand what you need to do inside here. It's very important what you choose here for all your gameplay experience, for all your games you're playing, not just Call of Duty, but this is very important for Call of Duty. All right. Threaded optimization should be on always, and then triple buffering off, and then these are just virtual reality things. You might have a spare option inside here that is like VSync or FreeSync. I highly recommend turning it on if you have that option. All right, go ahead and turn it on and you should be good to go. Then you're going to apply these settings. Your screen might flash a couple of times. Your screens might even go black. Trust me, your screens might even go black because mine just completely went black right now. As I'm speaking, I can't see jack shit. All my screens are black. My main screen, my two side monitors are black. Everything's black right now. And here we go. I'm back again. All right. So that's just now applied everything to my computer. It's refreshing itself right now. Don't worry about it. It's just applying the settings for you. Now that has been done, my new drivers are installed. Everything is perfectly fine. That needs to be inside here. You're going to come to config surround and physics and make sure you select your dedicated graphics card. The only reason why you would select CPU is if you have an APU unit, meaning you don't have a dedicated graphics card plugged into your PCIe slot. You're only running a CPU with no graphics card. It has a graphics card built into the CPU, so then you'll use the CPU option over here. That's the only reason. But most people that's playing this game right now has dedicated graphics cards. So go ahead and select your dedicated graphics card. Do not say auto select because then it will jump between the GPU and the CPU. And you don't want it to do that because you can have instability. All right. So select your dedicated graphics card and say apply over here. From here, you're going to come to adjust desktop color settings and come inside here. Now, my main screen is right here. I have my digital vibrance at 95. It's my sweet spot. And I have my contrast at 65. So 50, 65, default. That's not default though. 65 over here, ladies and gentlemen. Digital vibrance at 95. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you click on a preference 3 image and you pull this all the way down to 0, it will look completely black and white. All right. Now, Windows' default is 50%. If you put it at 50%, I'm just going to get it to 50%. There we go. You'll see that your screen looks washed out. You don't want that, okay? Just don't put a strain on your eyes, okay? That's one thing you don't want to do. I also want to look out for my community. Don't put a strain on your eyes. So go up a little bit. Go to 65, go to 75, go to 85, go to 80, go to 90. If you don't have bad eyesight, go to 95 because it's actually a very sweet spot for the Call of Duty gaming community in general, and then also for all games to be played and your screen to look good at digital vibrance. Even when you're watching YouTube or Netflix or whatever the case might be, you'll see the digital vibrance looks amazing, especially when you're gaming and you're playing Call of Duty Warzone. All right, so go ahead and apply this. Once you apply this, your screen might flash a couple of times again. If it doesn't, just bear in mind that it's applying the settings for you. All right, now we can fuck out of this. And now we're going to jump straight into the game. I'm going to show you the best settings you can use right now for Season 1 for Warzone. Right, let's jump straight into this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we're in the display tab right now, and I'm just going to go over this just to point this out there because a lot of people don't know what to select inside here. If you do have multiple screens, I would highly recommend selecting full screen borderless. If you have multiple screens like me, go with full screen exclusive. If you have one dedicated screen like a monitor or a laptop display, it gives you less input latency. Now, you can also use full screen exclusive if you have multiple screens as well, and you're getting away with getting no input latency, then go with full screen exclusive. Then, if you have a very low-end GPU, I highly recommend using windowed mode because you then can reduce the resolution a little bit in the game and have the game perform really, really well. You can go ahead and do that on a lower gen graphics card. Please bear this in mind, and that's why I suggest any of these over here. But like I said, the two main ones would be this if you have multiple screens, and this if you have one dedicated monitor. All right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, so the next step will be the aspect ratio in this game, and I play my game at 16:9. I've always been playing my games at 16:9, especially when it comes to first-person shooting games. This is how I like my game. It's very competitive, basically. I suggest that probably most people are using this already, but if you aren't, try it out. If you don't like it, you can just go to automatic, and Call of Duty will automatically pick up the screen that you are currently running, and then just go with automatic. And if it's a gaming monitor, a TV, or whatever the case might be, it will automatically pick up the screen for you and then adjust it to what you are currently using as a rig, basically. But 16:9 is really competitive, and I really love this, and I've always been using it. So I do suggest maybe trying this out if you have never tried it out, or if you're already on this, stay on it. All right, this one over here, display gamma. I have mine at 2.4. The reason why I have mine at 2.4 is because of the digital vibrance in the game. This can actually make your game pop a little bit more in general. But for most people out there, if you're running a normal monitor, let's say you're running just a laptop screen or a normal monitor, not a gaming monitor that has like, you know, that you paid a fuck ton of money for basically and stuff like that, and it has like 500 hertz or let's say 240 hertz or whatever the case might be, or just in general you have a really good gaming monitor, go with 2.4. If you have a normal monitor, go with 2.2. Then you should be good to go. All right, from here, you're going to go to the gamma and brightness. Now, this has changed a lot because the game now physically, Warzone physically looks like you're playing Black Ops 6. Because if you don't know Black Ops 6 and you go buy it or whatever, you do own it, and you go play Black Ops 6, you'll see that the game looks exactly the same. Doesn't look like your ordinary Warzone like back in the day anymore. So now the brightness isn't anymore where people are recommending between 55 and 60. People are pushing it all the way up to like 75. But yet again, it's your own personal preference on this. Just bear in mind, don't push it way too high, because if you push it way too high, your game's going to start looking washed out, and you don't want that. All right, this one over here, Nvidia Reflex Low Latency, plays a very, very, very big role on the game itself. It plays an extremely big role on the game itself. And like I said in my previous video, I'm going to say it again. Just use the eyeballs that's currently in the sockets of your face that you were born with and put them here to read what the fuck this does. Okay, it's very easy to read, okay? But if you don't know what you're doing here and you don't understand this, or you're new to computers or whatever the case might be, let me explain this in layman terms, all right? Make it very easy for you to understand. Okay, if you are CPU bound cases, so your CPU is not as, let's just say, the best, but you have a way better GPU, you go on plus boost. Let's say you have a way better CPU than a GPU, you go on. But what I recommend is this. Okay, I have a 14700K and a 4070 Super. That's what I'm running right now at this very moment as a machine. Okay, my game automatically put this on for me when I came into the game. All right. Now, the game will automatically put it on for you, which it should be on for your machine. So if it's on, leave it on. If it's on plus boost, leave it on plus boost, and then done. All right, we're going to come over here to where it says Eco Mode Preset, have this at Custom. All right, VSync plays a very big role in this game as well, especially if you're getting screen tearing. If it looks like that while you're playing your game and not stable, it's literally tearing itself apart. I would highly recommend putting this at 100%. Not 55, not 33, not 25. You don't want to VSync like half-ass of your game. You want to VSync the whole entire game, or your whole entire screen, basically, while playing the game. That's why it says gameplay, all right? So then 100%. But just bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this will also cap your FPS to refresh rate and hertz of your monitor. Okay, so let's say you have a 120 hertz monitor, it will cap your FPS to 120 and it won't climb any higher than that. Okay, please bear that in mind. So let's just say you have an ordinary screen which is 60 hertz, you will only do 60 FPS and it won't climb any higher than that. So if you're going to leave a comment down below like you change this to 100% and you're like, yo dude, my FPS is stuck at 60 FPS but I know I can do way more. It's because you have this at 100%, you have a 60 hertz screen. That's why that is happening. Okay, because I've had comments like that before. Okay, just bear that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. It will cap your FPS to the hertz and the refresh rate of your monitor. So let's say you have a 240 hertz monitor, it will cap it at 240 FPS. If you have a 500 hertz monitor, it will cap it to 500 FPS. That's if you can even do 500 FPS with this game, because it's a fucking joke right now. But anyways, I don't get screen tearing at all, and I leave this off. I also leave the VSync menus off because I don't get screen tearing here as well. But if you want to put this on to 100%, it will yet again, like I say, cap your FPS to the refresh rate or the hertz of your monitor while being in the menu. That's why it says menu over here. All right, then custom frame rate limit. This is a very, very big step in the game, especially right now at this very moment for Warzone. Okay, I play my game at unlimited, always have, but there's a big but to this, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, this very moment, because of Season 1, Season 1 is completely fucked, and like I said, ladies and gentlemen, Call of Duty smokes a bunch of crack. Okay, so the game's fucked right now for everyone, literally for high-end users. Now, I would only, could only imagine how this game's running for people with low-end machines. They're probably, like, tearing their hair out, you know? Like, probably throwing their monitors out their fucking windows and shit. But don't. Just follow my guidelines and you should be good to go, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So I play my game at unlimited frames, so I can see that I do unlimited frames, and I do this always. This is how I play my games, and I've always played all my Call of Duties like this. But there's a big but right now. Go to custom, go here, and come here. Then, if you see that your computer is capable of doing, let's say, 200 FPS while playing this game, okay? Let's just say that. You can do 200 FPS. Then what I would suggest you do is cap it to like 150, like this. Cap it to 150, okay? Or cap it to the refresh rate of your screen would be the better option. So let's say you have a 120 hertz monitor, cap it to 120, then you'll do 120 FPS max, and it will stop there. It won't climb any higher than that, all right? It says gameplay custom frame rate limit. Okay, it will cap your FPS to 120. You can go ahead and do that. If your game feels more stable, leave it like that. Okay, then let's just say, for instance, you have a 240 hertz monitor, leave it like that. You probably won't even reach 240 depending on the machine that you're running. If you're running a high-end machine, yes, you might be reaching 240. Then I suggest putting it at 240. Then cap your FPS to 240 so it can be more stable. Okay, but for me, my game runs perfectly fine, absolutely fine on unlimited. All right, and that's why I don't play around with this. But I do suggest for people out there that has unstable frames and their game feels like absolute dog shit right now, to cap their frames inside here. Just cap it to like an equal number to your screen, or an equal number, like for instance, let's just say you're doing, I don't know, let's say you're doing 160 FPS. Let's just say that, right? Then cap it to 150, like I said. Cap it there, so that you can constantly be doing that FPS. Yeah, you might have frame dips somewhere, maybe, because you will get frame dips in general, because Call of Duty is completely fucked. It's a fucked game, all right? It's always been fucked, and then, yeah, they're going to bring out updates for this game. Trust me, they will, to fix it. But yeah, it's a fucking joke. Anyways, I have my game on unlimited, and always had it unlimited, and will leave it like this forever. That's just how I play my game, and I've always played it like this, all right? Now, reduce menu render resolution, native, and leave it there. Pause game rendering, put this off. Reduce quality when inactive. I actually went on about this option in my previous video, and I ranted and raved about this option. I don't know what Call of Duty... No. It's not that I wanted to say now, I don't know what Call of Duty smokes. I know what they smoke, okay? And you all know what they smoke. Reduce quality when inactive. That means when you don't move your mouse, it will reduce the quality of your game. All right, so I'm going to click here. You can do 10 minutes or 5 minutes. So let's just say you've been away for 10 minutes and you come back and you move your mouse. The quality is going to come back to your game, right? So it's going to look like dog shit, and then you move your mouse, then the quality is going to come back into your game. All right. Now, yes, I'm going to get comments down below. I know I'm going to get comments down below in my video saying, yo, dude, that option's there so it doesn't put a strain on your GPU. Yeah. Yeah, anyways, I'm not going to rant and rave about this. I'm really not. This is going to be your own personal preference. That's all I'm going to say. This is going to be your own personal preference. Either put it on or put it off. For me, my personal preference, I put it off. I want my GPU to do everything it can while I'm in a game. Okay? While I'm playing a game, I want my GPU to do everything it can. I overclock my GPU. And it runs fine. Focus mode, 0% here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fuck around with this. It's a fucking stupid-ass option. It's just ridiculous. And then apply the settings over here. Once you apply these settings, you're going to come to the quality tab, and you're going to come inside here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, everything has now been changed yet again. The reason why this changed is because I went to go and download the latest graphics card drivers for my graphics card. Now, everything's changed. Everything's changed. It's apparently using Nvidia DLSS. Frame generation is obviously off, which is a good thing. Never have this shit on because it's AI created frames. I'll explain this more in detail. 80%, I've always had mine at 80%, so that's a good thing. It needs to stay at 80. Do not put it at 90. Just don't, because you can use this extra 10% rather here at the bottom than using it here. All right, I'll explain it, okay? Now, as you can see, shit's on ultra and stuff's on high. That doesn't need to be on what it needs to be. Now I'm going to show you, just because I just installed my graphics card, latest graphics card drivers, these are all the settings it gave me. Okay, which is all wrong. All of them are wrong, except that. And maybe that. Like, I can play my game in Nvidia DLSS, but I don't suggest it. Alright, and you come inside here, and you're going to use AMD FSR 3, and I highly recommend using this right now at this very moment for Season 1 for Warzone. It's the most stable, boosting FPS, and just makes the game run really good, okay? And selecting the balance option is very, very good. Okay, if you like more quality overall, and your game can use, or your GPU can use that quality, I suggest you use quality over here. Your game will do really good FPS and still have really good quality, okay? Now, you can change it to balance, and then have balanced quality and performance. So you have balanced quality and performance. So I would suggest this right now at this very moment is AMD FSR 3 for Nvidia users or AMD users. It doesn't matter if it says AMD that you need to have an AMD card. No, that's not how this works. Okay, I'm using an Nvidia card and I can still use this. Okay, any person can be using this. This can actually increase performance. Please go ahead and select this option. It's one of the best options right now is AMD FSR 3, AMD FSR 1. A lot of people are getting away with AMD FSR 1 as well. I'm just going to select it and apply it quickly and just show you my FPS, what it does. And it goes back to the FPS, right? So that works perfectly fine. Fidelity FX Cache. Okay, so if I select Fidelity FX Cache and you apply these settings, now I do also recommend Fidelity FX Cache. These are the three I recommend right now at this very moment. People can get away with DLSS. You can get away with it. This is a option. And Nvidia image scaling is also a option, because as you can see, the VRAM intends to climb quite a lot when you go to Nvidia image scaling. I wouldn't recommend it. And then Intel used to be an option back in the day for like Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2, and the first Modern Warfare. But right now, at this very moment, we are in Black Ops 6, and we're also in the new Warzone, which is basically like Black Ops 6. Don't use this upscaling. And do not, I repeat, do not turn this off. You're going to need to use an upscaling to get a better performance out of this game in general. All right, so let me go over this. If you use AMD FSR 3, I'm just going to apply this, all right? Use AMD FSR 3, and use it at balanced, okay? Nvidia DLSS frame generation. Please, for the love of fuck, turn this off, because it is not meant to be used in a multiplayer game. Okay, if you're using AMD FSR 3 like this, please go ahead and have this. If you have a decent enough GPU, you can have this at high or normal. Okay, go with that. That's what you're going to go with. Okay, I have mine at high. This is also normally by me at high, not ultra. At high. This is how I run my game, okay? If you have a lower graphics card than me, I'm running a 4070 Super. So if you're running anything lower than mine, then go to normal here and then normal here and apply those settings. Have that like that. Your game should be running perfectly smooth. The lowest you can go on the texture resolution is low. I repeat, is low. Do not put this at very low. You're going to tear out your own fucking eyeballs, or you're going to take them out your sockets and throw it out your window of how bad the game looks. It looks like absolute physical dog shit, so do not select very low. Even if you have a GPU that can't handle this game, then I would rather just not play the game, okay? Do not select very low. You go with low, normal, or high, depending on the GPU you're running. Okay, so I have mine at high, and I have mine at high over here with my GPU, okay? Then I have depth of field off. I have it at 80% because of my GPU. If you have anything like a, let's say a 6 gig card or an 8 gig card, and it's not the best card, go to 60. It's the lowest I would go to right here. Have it at 60 on the VRAM scale target. Don't drop it anything lower than 60. Then don't go any higher than 80 here, even if you have a 4090, all right? Please don't go higher than 80, because you can have that 10% usage in these settings rather, okay? Like having this at high and having this at high, all right? Depth of field, who plays with this in their right mind? Turn it the fuck off. Detail quality, low. Particle resolution, very low. And then bullet impacts you can put on. It doesn't have an impact on, like, it just doesn't have an impact on your GPU or your CPU. It says low there on the right hand side. CPU and GPU low. So this won't have an impact even if you're playing this game on a calculator. Leave it on. The effects you can turn the fuck off because you don't need to see them, because you can still see the effects even if it's off inside you. It's just an FPS hogger. Shader quality, do not put this at high. I repeat, do not put this at high. Leave this at low. Turn it to low. Then you have on-demand texture streaming. Select minimal over here. There's no off option, unfortunately. Not even in Warzone, not in Black Ops 6, not in Black Ops 6 Season 1, and there is no off option here. So go with minimal here, all right? Then, local texture streaming, normal. For every single GPU out there, doesn't matter what GPU you're running, just please leave this at normal, okay? All the way from low end to a high end GPU. Normal. All right. Then we're going to come to shadow and lighting, which plays a very big role on FPS in this game. Shadow quality, you're going to put at very low. You do not need to see the fucking shadows. Screen space, shadows, yet again, turn it the fuck off. Leave it the fuck off and done. Occlusion and screen space lighting, turn it the fuck off and done. Screen space reflections, turn it the fuck off and done. Static reflection quality, low and done. Please turn this like this, okay? You do not need any of this. Especially if the game's already running like absolute fucking dog shit. Please turn this the fuck down. Even if this game was running perfectly fine, I would still run it like this, okay? That's how I run it. And I'm running a 4070 Super, ladies and gentlemen. So please turn this the fuck off, all right? Here we go to the environment. We're in the environment right now, and it's now on all. No, not on all. Off. Volumetric quality, low. The physics quality, you don't need to see. Turn it the fuck off, because while this is off, you can still see the physics inside the game. Weather grid volumes, turn it the fuck off. It's at ultra right now. I don't care about the weather. I really don't care about the weather in the fucking game while I'm playing this game. I'm not going to look at the rain or look at the ground and see that it's wet and be like, oh my god, I can see myself. Oh my god, it's so nice and wet. No, what the fuck? Turn it the fuck off, alright? I wish these options could just fuck out this game, to be honest with you. Alright, the game's already fucked. Why is this option in here? Anyways, water quality off, and then apply these settings. Please go ahead and apply these settings. You'll see actually an increase in FPS once you go into the game, once you have these settings like I have it right now, and you have AMD FSR, FSR3, AMD FSR1, or Fidelity FX Cache selected. Okay, you can get away with DLSS. Like I said, you can get away with it. The rest of them, I don't recommend. So these four would be the best that you should be selecting right now. If you do select Fidelity FX Cache, please have that at 100%. So it will do the native resolution of your monitor. Please go ahead and do that, ladies and gentlemen. Fidelity FX Cache is a very good upscaling, and it makes the game look really good as well. Alright, once you apply these settings, you're going to come to the View tab, and then you're going to have this over here. The field of view, ladies and gentlemen, I have mine at 120, but it's your own personal preference on what you're going to do inside this whole entire options inside here. I have mine at 120. The reason why I have mine at 120 is because I want to see as much on my right and left hand side on my screen. So let's just say you drop this too low. Let's say you have it at 60, or you have it at 80, or you have it at some weird number that you typed in. I don't know, let's just say you type in 85 and you press enter. Right? Then it's going to do 85. So it's going to do it about there. Like, there-ish. Now, let's say there's a guy there with a sniper rifle and you're standing here and you can't see him and you get shot in the face. It's because of this. Okay? It's because of your field of view. FOV, field of view. Alright? I have mine at 120. It's my own personal preference. Everyone has their own personal preference. I can't tell you what to do here, so have it at your own personal preference. Alright? Scroll all the way down to the bottom and have inverted flash on. Take advantage of this so it doesn't look like a flashbang came through your monitor, landed on your table, and physically flashbanged you that you have to look down at the floor because your eyes are actually physically sore. Take advantage of this, turn it on, your screen will actually go black instead of white. Alright, then you can't apply these settings, it will just automatically apply in the view settings. This is the only thing that there's no apply options. Then you're going to come to the interface like this. I'm just going to show you. Come to interface. You're going to come inside here. Now, there's a thing called telemetry. Please go ahead and have your skip introduction movie on so you don't have to watch the introduction of the fucking Call of Duty every single time you come into this game. You don't want to see that. All right. And then you can have this on, I guess, if you want to. Telemetry, please go ahead and have all on so you can see there at the top there what your computer is doing itself, all right, your FPS and everything. And then these things are automatically on. I know why they left this automatically on, because they know their game's fucked, and they know that a lot of people are having all of this packet loss and packet bursts and latency issues and all that shit. They have it on for a reason, because those are little network errors and shit that's happening with your game while you are playing. So they alert icons. They're automatically on for a reason, okay? So don't turn them off. That's just something I recommend. Don't turn them the fuck off, all right? Just please don't turn the fuck off. Right, now I'm going to show you the most important step that you're going to need to take for these things to apply to your game. All right, so you're going to come to the display tab like this once more, and you're going to click on Restart Shader Preloading. I'm going to do it myself now because I'm going to apply these settings myself as well, because my GPU drivers is updated and it's changed all my settings to bullshit I don't want. So you're going to click on Restart, and that is my brother sending me an invite while I'm doing a video. Love it. Anyways, yeah, probably going to be jamming with him a bit. Yeah, so once you applied that and you said restart, what you're going to do is fuck out of your game completely. So just press escape, press escape, press escape, press escape, press escape, and then say quit to desktop. Now, ladies and gentlemen, once you click on quit to desktop and you're playing this game through Steam or through Battle.net, then once you launch your game through Battle.net or Steam, at the top left corner here, it's going to say installing shaders. Let it install. Please let it install from 0% all the way to 100%. Now, if your thing gets stuck at I don't know, 1% or 0% or stuck at 0%, just make sure that once you launch your game, click once on your screen like this. Just one click like this. So your game registers that you're physically in the game, that you're not tabbed out or anything like that, that you are in the game. Then it's going to start installing the shaders all the way to 100%, and then it's going to say shaders completely on the right-hand side. Once that is done, go ahead and enjoy your game, ladies and gentlemen. If this worked for you, smash the like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, I will always be here to help you guys as best as I can for this fucked game. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, if this game is still running like dog shit after all my settings, blame Activision, blame the developers, blame the crack-smoking developers, all right? Blame them, not me. I'm trying my best here to help you guys as best as I can, and I know I'm trying my best here. It works for me. My settings. It's competitive settings. Use them. And yet again, ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you, smash the like button, leave a comment down below, leave a super thanks if you would like to. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, peace out.